The congestion tax cameras in Midtown Manhattan won't be shutting off anytime soon. We're breaking down the latest agreement, keeping the tolls open for months. A New Jersey teen is killed in the West Bank, what his family says led to his death, and the action local officials are urging the government to take this afternoon.
I saw some toilet paper in the water, which I didn't think was a good thing.
More than 65,000 gallons of sewage and stormwater leak into a Monmouth County lake. The steps officials are taking to clean it up. Thank you very much for joining us here on News 12. I'm Della Cruz. 6 more months at least. That appears to be the case for those paying the $9 congestion pricing toll heading into Manhattan. News 12's Tony Caputo tells us why.
What this is boiling down to right now is basically court and both sides of this issue filing legal motions. Now, we know when President Trump won election, he basically told New York almost immediately, enough with the congestion pricing. New York said, not yet, we're going to file a lawsuit. So that's where we stand at this point. According to the court documents that we're reading, both sides have agreed to a timeline to prepare their court motions. And that timeline could carry this into late fall. Basically, we're looking at late October, to be more specific. That's bad news for all the New Jerseyans who drive in and continue to pay that $9 congestion pricing fee, at least $9. And it's good news for New York and Governor Kathy Hochul and, of course, the MTA that continues to collect all of that money. Now, when President Trump made his announcement, that was maybe the only thing he said that the Democrats here in New Jersey truly supported him on. But again, the president will have to deal with this, New Jerseyans will have to deal with this, and the congestion pricing will continue at least until around Halloween as it stands today. If anything on that changes, we'll keep you posted. That's the latest from Jersey City. Tony Caputo, News 12, New Jersey.
A woman from Runnemede is charged in a murder-for-hire plot. The Camden County prosecutor says the targets were a Philadelphia police officer and his daughter. Jacqueline DiOrio faces several charges, including 2 counts of first-degree attempted murder. The Major Crimes Unit says a defendant told a confidential informant DiOrio offered to pay $12,000 to have both victims killed. She met with the informant April the 4th with $500 in cash. After the money was exchanged, she was taken into custody by the Gloucester Township Police Department Special Response Team. DiOrio faces a detention hearing tomorrow. A former nurse learns his fate after a man with disabilities dies in his care. The Morris County Prosecutor's Office says Emilio Rivera will serve 90 days behind bars and spend 3 years on probation after pleading guilty to neglect. We first brought you this story in 2023. 19-year-old Matthew Rossi died shortly after being driven back to his home in East Hanover. Rossi was transported on a bus accompanied by the former nurse. Prosecutors say Rivera didn't properly care for the victim, which led to his death. A massage therapist in Bergen County, already accused of sexually assaulting a client, now faces more charges after another woman comes forward. DeQuinn Cedeno of Teaneck is accused of assaulting 2 women while giving massages at the Hand and Stone Spa in Allendale. Prosecutors say the incidents happened in February and March. Cedeno was arrested again yesterday. He's in jail awaiting his next court appearance. A Superior Court in Mount Holly sentenced a man from Gloucester City to 17 years behind bars for sexually assaulting 2 minors. Henry Papaleo pled guilty to assaulting 2 children under the age of 13. Details are hidden to protect the identities of the victims. Papaleo will have to register as a sex offender. An argument in a grocery store parking lot leads to an arrest. Paramus police say a man pointed a pellet gun at someone and called them an anti-Semitic slur. It happened Friday at the Paramus ShopRite along Route 4. Police say it started when the suspect, Joseph Coppinger, hit a parked car with his car door. That sparked an argument with the owner of the car. We're told the suspect went into the store, came back out, and hit that car again, uttered the slur, and pointed a gun at the victim before leaving. When police caught up with him, they say there was a plastic pellet handgun on the floor of his car. He faces several charges, including bias intimidation. The family of a 14-year-old American citizen killed in the West Bank is calling on the U.S. government to conduct a full investigation into his death. News 12's Chris Keating with more from Clifton, where the family will be speaking out this afternoon. Chris.
Della, good afternoon. Amer Rabi is a 14-year-old Palestinian American, and his relatives here in Clifton, New Jersey, are saying that the teenager was shot and killed by Israeli soldiers. And those same relatives are now calling on the U.S. government to perform a full murder investigation into his death. Amer Rabi is from Saddlebrook, New Jersey, but at the time of his death, he was in the occupied West Bank, and his relatives are saying that he was shot 11 times by those soldiers. In response to his death, Israeli Defense Forces have said in a statement that the teen was identified as a, quote, terrorist who was throwing rocks at civilians on a highway. But his father has spoken out publicly saying the teen was out with friends simply picking almonds. There is support for an investigation into this death coming from Governor Phil Murphy, who has said, as the circumstances of his death remain unclear, I'm asking for answers from the Israeli government as to why Amer, who was just 14 years old, was killed. There is another official speaking out, and that is U.S. Senator Andy Kim. He is saying, yes, there should be an investigation into this teenager's death. At the same time, Mr. Kim is reminding that there is another New Jerseyan, Eden Alexander from Tenafly, New Jersey, who is currently being held hostage by Hamas, and he needs to be released. We'll have much more on the story from Clifton coming up later tonight on News 12 New Jersey. For now, in Clifton, I'm Chris Keating.
Thank you, Chris. Bayonne native Clem Burke of the iconic rock group Blondie dies at the age of 70. The band announced Monday the drummer suffered from cancer. They describe him as the heartbeat of Blondie. Burke is survived by his wife. Police in Newark are searching for a hit-and-run driver who ran over the victim twice. This is the car wanted, a silver Ford Taurus. We're told the driver jumped the curb on Grove Street and ran over a man, then put the car in reverse and hit him a second time before taking off. It happened early Friday morning. An off-duty officer saw the incident and helped the victim before he was taken to the hospital. Anyone with info is being asked to contact police. Officials in Hudson County are also searching for the driver involved in a hit and run there. Prosecutors say this one happened at Bay and Erie Streets at 1:30 Monday morning. A 37-year-old man was walking when he was seriously injured. Anyone with information is asked to contact the prosecutor's office. All right, let's take a look at Jersey City right now in this monitor behind us over here. Beautiful with the white clouds and all that. And I see the wind, okay? It is cold out there.
Yeah,
this
Della.
is supposed to be spring, right?
Wait for it. Tonight,
No.
we crashing.
What?
Yeah, we're going down to the 20s tonight.
You have got to be kidding.
No, I know. Listen, it's April. We got some days. We got some days left of this kind of spring cold air that's going to be settling in, and it's all about that cold air and the wind for today. So this is driving in the cold air, gusty conditions that are going to cause a temperature crash into tonight. Tomorrow morning, 20s across New Jersey. Freeze warnings already up to go for the areas that already began the growing season. So this is going to be the case here going into the next several hours as colder air kind of settles in for New Jersey this afternoon and tonight. Winds are going to be gusty this afternoon, upwards to 30 to 40 miles per hour. Pulls back by 6 o'clock, and then going into the overnight where we have a better experience of the wind going into tomorrow morning. But Della is right. It looks beautiful outside. Fair weather clouds passing by, beautiful blue, lots of sun, 46 degrees. It's struggling to get up to 49 today. We're not going to get warmer than that. We do have those winds definitely picking up the pace here, though. Once you get into this mid-afternoon, it is brutal. But you can see temperatures are just in the 40s. Not much has changed from earlier this morning, only by a couple of degrees. So just keep in mind you do need to bundle up, not just for tonight, but into tomorrow morning too, with low temperatures dropping down into the mid-20s across the Garden State. That includes our coastal areas too. So just keep in mind winds are steady from the northwest at around 25 miles per hour, if not near 15 to 25 miles per hour. Gusts near 35, pushing near 40 over in Morristown. So just keep that in mind for now. Clouds are clear for the most part. Sky is clear for the most part. A few clouds out there. Sunset tonight 7:24. We get down into the 20s by tomorrow morning. We'll talk about that freeze warning coming up in just a few minutes.
He did say freeze warning, right? Okay, it's spring. Remember that, people. Roselle Park has a bird problem, and it's not the flu. They're getting stuck in new bird-proof nets the town installed. They were set up at Locust and Webster and Chestnut and Lincoln last year. They were meant to keep birds out of the underpass, but officials now say the nets are confusing the birds and causing them to get stuck.
I believe every council member, the mayor, got at least 20 calls, 20 emails before 10 o'clock this morning So quickly became apparent that there was a very significant issue that we needed to address.
The borough says all netting will be removed as soon as tomorrow. Sinkhole repairs along I-80 are leaving small business owners in a sunken place. We'll share how the government is stepping in to provide relief. A rowdy social media trend leaves a small Washington Township theater trashed. The new rules to come in response.